right, take two. Welcome to the Wisties, episode 11. Thanks a lot, Alexa. You called
Shout
5 minutes
out.
in, and we had to restart all this shit because Cole's audio got screwed up. We still love you though. Yeah, welcome back, episode 11. Let's go, baby.
You
Start
turn
us
to the
off.
light side now. You're not Darth.
Yeah, it was getting
You
hot.
completely changed the look.
The heat was coming on. It was getting hot in here.
Okay. Um.
This was take one.
Yeah, that
This
was
this is take two.
Anakin. Here we go. Headlines. Not much to say. Kyler Murray's back from a torn ACL this week. I
All
picked him up on
right.
my fantasy team. Hopefully he plays, but otherwise not much.
Is he going to be that
Um.
good though? They're not that good.
They have talent on offense, so I guess that'll be fun to watch. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find
He's
out,
an
huh?
athlete. He's a hell of an athlete. Shouts out to the draft coming up. Best athletes in the NFL ever. That's
Can you be the best athlete and
coming
be
up at
5'8"?
towards the end here. Height does not matter.
Oh, it does. 100%.
Height, if you're short, it helps you. Ask because the things you can do are more impressive. Ask Simone Biles if she's a good athlete or not.
She is a good athlete. But have you
Yeah,
seen her
she's like four
throw a
foot
ball?
two.
Have you seen her
I'm
throw a
just
ball?
saying. I know yeah, I have, but I just saying your height is not as big as a thing that you think it is.
I think a lot of people think this is a
Um,
hot take, but I don't think she's one of the best athletes in the world in the female category. I
in the
don't.
female category,
Yeah. She's an
I
incredible
mean,
gymnast, just the GOAT gymnast. I don't think that's any debate, but she's
you don't think she's
not.
the most athletic woman on the planet Earth?
No,
Do you have a person in mind other than that, or are you just blatantly saying no?
I don't really watch women's sports.
Yeah, so how can you say that? What a horrible take.
I don't
Oh
think
my
a lot of people
God.
do either, but I think Serena Williams is probably a better, in her prime, was a better
Fuck
athlete.
no.
I think,
Athlete?
yeah,
She hits a ball. She hits a ball.
Cole,
She have you seen
hand-eye
Serena Williams?
coordination, hand-eye coordination is part of athleticism. And what can
You don't
we
think
all saw Simone Biles throw out a first pitch, and it was like hard to watch.
okay, so is jumping part of athleticism? Is balancing on a fucking beam that's like this big part of athleticism? Is doing things that no one can ever do in the air part of athleticism? Is her power better than anybody that's ever done the sport part of athleticism?
Yes, it all is. But it's
Oh, this
all
draft is gonna
relative.
be heated.
It's all relative.
I
I
know.
mean, there's people who are bigger and stronger than her and have good balance and good
but
jumping abilities
but
too. So,
but it's all proportional. It's all proportional though. You have to look at for her
and I
size
think
compared to your
bigger,
size, like
I
their
think
size.
bigger is better
Because you got to
in
think about
many
it this way
ways.
too. It's like it's a ratio though. Like if someone 6'5" lifts 200 pounds and I lift 200 pounds, they're just a better athlete or stronger or whatever. Like you're just physically bigger than me.
But I
So it's more
always
impressive
argued
for me to
this.
lift more weight,
I
right? Or
always
jump
argued
as high
this.
or whatever.
Well, I always argued this with my friends in college because, you know, I'm taller than this guy I was arguing with. He's 5'8", I'm 6'2". So I was like, it's more impressive to me to see a guy my height with like big muscular arms than a guy your
Because
height
it's
with big muscular arms. It's a longer muscle.
you have to lift more. Yeah.
You have to lift more. It
Yes.
has to go a further distance, all that stuff. It's physics. So I
Correct.
think it's more impressive to be a bigger athlete.
But
Does
I
that
don't
make you
know
a
the
better athlete? I think that's
No,
debatable.
because I think if you I don't know any statistics behind this, but just logically thinking this out loud, I think if you look at it, it's kind of like saying,
If you can do the
um,
things bigger guys
it's
can when you're smaller, it's more impressive.
yeah, and it's like dad's favorite like relative athletic score, right? In the draft. Like you're gonna get some guys get off the like the big offensive lineman can move all these people, and people don't think offensive linemen are great athletes, but the amount of burst and force that comes out of theirs for their size is very good. But I think if you ratio it to their size and weight and mass compared to a smaller person who has just as good or better, I would say the smaller person's the better athlete
I think
in
in
that one
general,
specific category, if that
I
makes
think
sense.
there's, yeah, I think there's extremes on each end, but I think, in general, the better athlete is probably going to be about like if we're talking NFL, it's going to be about an average height. So we're talking maybe like a 6 foot range, 6'1". Like there's guys who are 6'6", there's guys who are 5'9". So you're going to be kind of right in the middle. You're going to be, you know,
Correct, but that's why it's so tough. Like I've had a conversation with someone that I don't want to name on the podcast right now, but that I argued you can't compare like a woman to a man because it's completely different genetics and like body sizes, especially a Simone Biles of the world. Like a
right,
Simone Biles compared to LeBron James, he's got like 2 feet on her. It just physically isn't fair,
right.
right? So like man and woman is different. So like that's what I argued. But we'll get real deep into this later. We don't need to worry about that right now.
She's probably the most
Dear
athletic
Lord.
4'11" athlete in the world.
Okay.
That's how tall she is. I'm pretty sure she's sub 5.
I disagree. Anyways, weekend review, week 9, NFL. Um, it was a good weekend. Looking forward to the weekend, but everything I expected to happen happened. Bills played the Bengals in Cincinnati. I didn't expect the um, Bills to really get blown out, but I didn't expect them to win. And that's kind of exactly what happened.
Right.
Any thoughts on that? Like, do you think any differently?
No, I mean, it's Cincy is really, picking up their head of steam here,
Yeah.
and that's great because we both picked them to win it all, and it's making us look a little bit better. So I like it. I like Cincy. I
Yeah,
like Joe Burrow.
me too. And then um the Ravens dominated Seattle. I didn't think they dominated them, but I thought the Ravens were the better team going into the game, and they proved that. So
Yeah,
I don't know that.
they're looking really good. They're winning a
So
ton, and Lamar's not even running or throwing for touchdowns.
I have a question after I talk about this next game about the Ravens. So just give me a second here. Chiefs Dolphins. I was excited for that one. They kind of squeaked by. I didn't think the Dolphins would win. I personally think the Dolphins are frauds. They beat
Mm,
up on bad teams. They don't look like they're ready for that jump yet, playing
hmm
good teams. But my question is parted, two part. Are the Chiefs the best team in the AFC?
I don't think so. I think the Ravens are.
So here's my issue. I would immediately say no, the Ravens have looked better. But if you're in the AFC Championship game and it's Chiefs Ravens, who are you picking?
Right now,
Sure, put them next week. Put them on the thing. Who you picking?
where is it being played?
Pick a spot. I don't care.
I think I honestly think the Ravens would win.
It's been at Kansas City the last 5 years, so let's assume it's at Kansas City. Like let's just keep the norm going.
I don't know if they would, but I think they definitely have a good chance of beating them.
I do too, and I don't think
I
the
think their
Chiefs are
defense
the
is
better
really
team.
good. No, I don't think they are. Their
I don't
defense is,
think they are.
I mean,
Yeah,
if Miami didn't have those bonehead fumbles, they could have beat them. Like they were
exactly. And
kind
the
of right
Chiefs
in.
offense doesn't look great, but I'm starting to get the Patriot Brady thing creep into me of like, yeah, but it's Mahomes and Reed. Yeah, but they're there 1,000 times. Yeah, but Lamar's only won one
They'll
playoff
figure
game.
they'll figure it out.
And
Yeah.
they'll get in a messy game. They'll make it messy. They'll get a turnover. They'll do just enough. They're not a team. They're reminding me of the Patriots, where like before it was like we're gonna outscore you. We're outscoring you, Mahomes. We're outscoring you. They're doing like Patriot shit now, where it's a top defense, and we're gonna just do enough on offense just to beat you because we're clutch when it matters, and we're well coached. Like it's hard for me not to pick them. It really would
Yeah.
be. And I
Yeah.
don't think they're the better team. It
Yeah.
just kind of
Which
sucks.
is, yeah, it's annoying. But we still got a lot
The
of
the
the season left. We'll see. Ravens
right
got to
too.
keep. I'm saying that in terms of Chiefs could turn it on, and the Ravens have to
Yes.
keep
Well,
their foot on the gas too. They still have to prove it to us.
well, they do not play the Chiefs this year, but there are a lot of big games. The Ravens going to play the Bengals again. I think they play the Eagle or the Niners. There's some they get tested a little bit, so we should see how that goes, just
Yeah,
to see
that'll
what
be
kind of
good.
team they are. I I do have another question after we talk about or before we really get into the Eagles beat Dallas. Again expected the Eagles to beat Dallas. It was a good game though. I'm happy Eagles beat Dallas. But my question to you is why is Tua, even me putting Tyreek Hill and Mahomes in the MVP conversation over a Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts?
Why are they in the MVP versus the other two?
Yeah, I feel like Lamar and Jalen, who I think are the co-favorite or trio now with Mahomes, are the favorites, but they haven't been talked about until this week. I don't know why they're not. And I
Well,
personally think guys like Josh Allen and are the real MVPs because you're the truck to this team, even though they're like 5-4. But realistically, the number one seed or the on the best team quarterback, you know how it goes. So if you think like that, I don't know how we haven't thought Jalen Hurts, even though he has turnovers, he's been a stud for the team when it matters. And
yeah, and
Lamar's
same as
been,
Lamar. He's been
yeah,
scoring in
lights
multiple
out.
ways. I mean, he didn't score last week, but
Yes.
you're gonna have
But
games like that. But
but
they still
he's
won.
doing enough where
Yeah,
he and they pull him, right? He's doing enough to make them win. And yeah, his stats aren't gaudy, but yeah, I also didn't play. I played 2.5 quarters today.
and he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to win. He doesn't want to win MVP.
Exactly.
Doesn't
So I don't.
care.
I think those guys need to be talked about before because I saw a thing about Russell Wilson's stats are better than or than Patrick Mahomes this
Mahomes,
year.
yeah,
And I'm
which is
like, why
crazy.
is Mahomes in this MVP conversation when his defense scored half the points he scored Sunday? He scored 14 and they scored 7. What are we talking about? Like, I just don't.
Yeah,
Why is he in that
it's
conversation?
it's the LeBron effect. You're always gonna be in when LeBron was in you know his prime. He's still doing pretty well, but he's
Yeah.
always he's always in the conversation for the MVP. And I think
Yeah. I
he's
mean, he.
proven like over the years that he probably should be at least talked about. But yeah, this year I saw that too. Like when that's why MVP of NFL is kind of to me because it's a three-dimensional
So
game.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so much
It's a
that
wins
go
thing.
like basketball, you play both sides, so that makes a little more sense. Like you can affect the game in more ways than you can in football. But, you know, they'll be like, oh, well, he's the first seed. Well, is it because of him? They have a great
Yeah, Jalen
defense.
Hurts is on an
So,
all-star team. Like he has
right.
dudes everywhere. And I
Yeah. So
get
I think
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. I get that. But to me, I think the NFL should turn it more into the NBA, which it'll never happen. But like go back to Andrew Luck in his first year. They were the first pick. Draft him. He brings them to the wild card. How are you not the MVP? I don't know who won it that year, but that is crazy to me.
yeah.
That's like you're the definition of I carry this entire franchise.
Hmm.
And the Josh Allens of the world, or the like, just pick a player where you're like, without them, that team is 3-14 right now. Like there's a
Right.
couple out there. Like I know this is a little overreaction, but CJ Stroud, what is that team without him?
I'm happy I picked his ass up.
Right?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Right?
He's
I mean, he looks
how
great.
dumb how dumb do you think Carolina feels right now?
Um,
I don't want to say I told you so, but I wasn't sold on Stroud, so I'm not going to say I told you you should have picked Stroud, but I was not sold on Bryce Young. He's so little. Talk about athletes. He's like 5'9" and he's like 150 pounds.
yeah,
Not
I
true.
don't
I'm not sure if either of those are true, but that's what he looks like. And he's just
no, I think he's like 5'10" and like 180. So
80, but still, that's
yeah.
tiny.
Yeah.
You and I are both
Mm.
bigger than that.
I don't think I don't think they're upset about the pick, but I think the pressure has immensely because they like mortgage their future to jump to get him, and the Texans have already like seen their future and the Panthers have not. They don't know if that's even their future. The Texans and Stroud could suck for the rest of the year and not be the guy, but he looks different. And um
He just
Sims
gets
does
it.
his quarterback rankings, and I trust him with quarterbacks like to a fault. He's been very spot on outside of the Zach Wilson thing. He's been very spot on. He had Stroud one, and he's like, I don't think it's close. He's like, it's just a natural thrower, and I just believe what he says. I like believe it to a fault, and it looks great. It
It
really does.
certainly sounds right now. He sounds like he knew what he was talking about at this point. And Bryce Young, it might just
Yeah,
take some time. We don't know. You got to give him
exactly.
some time. Jordan
Yes,
Love might just take some time.
that stuck with me. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I sent to you today, speaking of Sims, so the Cowboys, did they get robbed on the goal line? So that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. So I totally agree. It should have been was it a 2-point conversion or a touchdown? I think it was a touchdown.
That was a 4th and goal touchdown.
Yeah, so it was turnover.
Not,
That's a
yeah.
huge call because I totally agree. If you make the rule
You got to
that you have to
explain the
survive.
play.
So he caught the ball. He was running like parallel to the goal line, and he caught the ball in front of the goal line, but was getting tackled as he caught it. His knee hit the ground, and the ball was not past the goal line. But
Short.
then when
Right
he
there.
if
Yeah,
that you
right there.
pause right there, that's
He's
not a
short. I
touchdown.
looked at Paige and I was like, he's short. And she's like, yep. And we're like, no
Yep.
touchdown. In the
Right.
moment, I didn't think of another thing
I
of it.
agree. I didn't I was kind of doing other stuff while I was watching. I'm like, oh no, he's short, shoot. And I just didn't even think about it. And then today
Yep.
I saw that. I'm like, shit, you're right. So he continued to go to the ground and the ball crossed the goal line. And the point is any other catch, you have to survive the play. You have to survive the ground. So the play is not
Correct.
considered a catch until
You're not
you
down.
go
Yes.
through the ground or you like hit the ground and then you survive it. So
Yes.
the play's not over. Like he's down right there, but it's not a catch yet. Right. That's what I totally
Yeah,
agree. I think it's not, I don't think
you
it's a
can't
catch yet.
say
He didn't
you
catch it
because
until he hit the
if he would
ground.
have Des Bryant it, right, and it pops out,
then it's an
You don't
incomplete
say, nope,
pass.
his knee was down. Yeah, you don't say that, right? You say incomplete pass. So, and then if he gets in, you don't say, well, he completed the catch, but we're putting him down here. And that's exactly what they did. Sims said that, and my mind was blown. I was like, where did he get this? But it's so true. How can you call finishing through the ground on the Des Bryants of the world, on the Megatrons where he literally pushes with the ball and just gets up like that, and they didn't call that a touchdown? But that, and then even in the middle of the field, if you go down and you hit and it bounces, they're like, nope,
Yeah,
that
the
makes no
Packer,
sense.
the Wicks play, I said, yeah, then that's not a catch or whatever. But he
That,
made a football
okay,
move and he wasn't touched. So that's different. Because in the NFL, you can hit the ground and get back up. So he caught it, turned
that one.
around, reached for it. That's a football move. Okay, whatever. And then it hits the ground and then bumps up. But I thought a fumble couldn't be caused by the ground.
So I called dad immediately when
I'm
this
like, I don't
happened because
get
I
that.
was like, I was pissed. I'm like, you can't, the ground can't cause a fumble. He goes, he wasn't touched, so he's not down. And I'm like, okay, but his momentum is done. He dove. It's over. When you like, if you see players slide or just quit on the play, they just go down. You're done, right? They just say he stopped going, he's giving up, he's down. Like you can just not get touched and just give up and go down. That's a
You're giving
thing.
yourself up.
You're
Yep. You're
surrendering.
you're saying
Yeah, you're
I'm done.
surrendering your position.
Right.
And to me, diving is saying, this is as far as I can go. I'm reaching and I am down at this moment. That's in my opinion. I'm saying I'm down because once you dive, what are you going to do? Army crawl your way
Yeah.
up the fucking field? No. So I was like, how is that a fumble? I don't get that at
Yeah.
all.
I don't either. I don't
Kind of blew
either.
my mind this weekend. Yeah,
And
refs was
they're
a little
two
tough.
calls, they're completely opposite. If they were both called the same way, then I'd be like, okay, I guess that's just what they're deciding and that's it. But they were the two ops they weren't congruent with each other. So is the NFL
What
going to come out and
what
say anything about that call, or is that getting
well
enough
this is
press
my
where
Well, PFT is pretty good at he pushes that shit out. So I'm waiting because Sims brought it up Monday. So I'm waiting for because he's on again tomorrow. I'm waiting for to hear any backlash because I didn't hear shit from the broadcast the next day, that night. Nobody talked about that. I thought Dallas fans would be freaking out, but I didn't even notice it as a
they're
hardcore football fan in the
yeah.
moment. So I
And
think they were just they didn't even realize
Dallas
they're
fans are too
stupid
dumb.
too.
They
So
won't even know. Yeah.
yeah,
They'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I knew that.
that's
Yeah, see what
fantastic.
the hell." That's funny.
Robbery. Yeah, they're a bunch of bullshit. So that this weekend was kind of crazy. The last thing I have to mention, shout out, everyone's talked about this, but Josh Dobbs, that was awesome.
Yeah, he's
Like
that's impressive.
to have to run through this your snap count,
Like,
like they
guys,
don't even know what you sound
this
like.
is my cadence, okay? So this is what I do.
Yeah,
They're like, "Oh, okay." And they go
crazy.
out and they win. I know
I
it was the Falcons, but still, that's impressive.
and it was the Vikings, but I was rooting for them. I was like, "Let's go, buddy!" Like you just
Yeah.
they literally said on an interview, he was like, "I'm excited to like finally settle down in my apartment," and then he gets traded. So like the guy's just trying to live, and I
Yeah.
know he plays
Can't even get
football for a
a
living, and he's
can't
a
even get
yeah,
a GD jersey of his own team in
yeah, right on the Cardinals for
in
like 3 weeks
Arizona.
in,
Like, come on.
yeah,
He's a starting
and
quarterback and he doesn't even have
he's a
his jersey.
what is he a he's an astrophysicist or he's like a like he's like a super smart dude, isn't he?
I saw something like that. I don't know what it was about. I took it as he's just like a big like NASA aerospace fan. I don't know if he's actually
He's
got
an
stuff.
he graduated from Tennessee with an aerospace engineering degree.
Yeah, so he's smart, I would say. Cool.
Yeah. Like,
Good for him.
could be an astronaut or a rocket scientist with that degree. Yeah. So I thought that was
Yeah,
very cool. Cool story.
that's sweet.
Anything else you want to talk about from the weekend?
Um, no, I think that's it.
I didn't really. Packer game was kind of uneventful, so
The play that Luke Musgrave scored on, that was a good play.
the one good play, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's all I
That's all I
said.
have to say.
That was a
I
good
agree.
play.
That's all the time I give to that team. Um, okay.
I picked that game
Next
correctly, by the
week, yeah. Oh, we'll get there too.
way.
Next week, um, it's shit next week on prime time. Just a fair warning. It's the
Yeah,
Jets in Vegas. It's the Panthers and the Bears on Thursday. It's crap. Like it
yeah.
sucks.
We got
The
spoiled this
only
weekend.
good, yeah, the only good games. There's three good games to me. The Niners at the Jags. I think that's the best one. See if
Hmm.
they can rebound off the bye, and if like the Jags are legit, you beat the Niners. That's a big move.
Yeah, because
Um,
hopefully Debo will fucking play for God's sake.
yeah, I think he's supposed to, and Trent. Um, Texans at Bengals just became interesting all of a sudden. Looked at that week one, you'd be like, but now that's oh, okay, cool Ohio State alum quarterbacks going at each other.
Yeah,
And then Lions Chargers, I think, could be a score fest potentially if the Chargers don't look like what they looked like last night. So
yeah, yeah. That should be interesting too. We'll see.
otherwise, that's pretty much, yeah, I don't have much going forward.
You think the Packers can beat the Steelers?
No, TJ Watt. Next question. He's gonna fuck our fucking tackles like he's never fucked anyone before. That's all I'll say. And
Mom's
it's gonna
mom's
hurt
gonna
my
like that line.
it's gonna hurt my soul because I'm gonna just see Kevin King, Kevin King, Kevin King, Kevin King.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ted. R.I.P.
Yeah, we could have
But
had
still,
TJ Watt. That's so
yeah,
sad. Wisconsin
I
native too.
know.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's easy. That's a no-brainer.
All I heard during that draft was bloodline, bloodline, pick the bloodline, bloodline.
Yeah. We pick white end guys anyway. So it's like you might as well get one who has like a
I
name
know.
attached to him.
He's like, it just fits our team, Cole. It fits our team.
Van
And we
Ness,
go, Kevin
Lucas
King,
Van Ness doesn't
Washington.
even play. He barely plays.
I know. I know.
Like what was
Well,
the 17th overall or whatever he was? 15th?
like 13th, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 15th, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't barely plays. He plays on 1st and 10. And then Preston Smith comes in to guard
Well,
Devontae Adams. It's like,
I was
okay,
gonna say,
the
to
fuck are
be
we doing?
fair, we rotate Gary and Preston like 3 plays to start the game, and they're like, oh, exhausted, get off the field. Max Crosby's running 12 miles a game, and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll play 99.
Yeah.
Give me a break. I fucking
Yeah.
hate our team. Okay. Now that I'm riled up, let's get into it. Here goes. We're going to do the draft. Okay. The draft is the best NFL athletes of all time.
Oh, what? I thought it was just current.
Okay.
Fuck. I don't know enough. Oh, I
No,
know
I
two
said
I would
ever.
pick. Yeah, but you sent a
To be
voicemail
fair,
and didn't pick it up.
to be fair, I have like three. I did a list. Well, two things here. Do you want to do a snake draft or do you want to just go back and forth? And my question
Um,
to answer that would be like, do you think the difference between 1 and 2 is a huge deal to you? Like who
well,
you would
now that
pick
you're
and who would
mixing
I
all these
pick?
people in, I don't know. I'm prepared to do
I
current.
said all time on the thing. But Mason, there's like 3 people in the past that I would really like pick out. Otherwise, it's all people I've physically watched play football on the television.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of like one, two,
Yeah.
three, maybe four from the
Yes,
future.
those
But
and
if we're doing
those are
three
those are
rounds, how many rounds are we doing?
we can do 3 or 4, however you want.
Let's do 4 rounds.
Okay, we can do
You
4.
have
Want to do
you have
snake or do you want to do back and forth?
Let's do snake. We haven't done snake yet.
Okay, we'll do a trivia
Trivia
question.
question. Yeah,
I think
I gotta
for
win this.
you, I think you can get this one too.
Actually, if I don't win, it's almost advantageous. I get two of the top three. Okay, go ahead.
In the NFL, what is considered the highest passer rating you can achieve? What is a perfect passer rating? What is the number that you
One
can
fifty
get?
six point
I'll re-
two.
Oh no, that was way too fast. You did not get it, by the way. No, you did not get it. It's
What 152.6? Oh,
158.3. I knew you'd be close, but I
damn.
knew that like point whatever would be the difference.
I I
Yeah.
I don't know why
You were
156.2.
very confident.
I know. I
I
I'm
was
like I've seen that before, and I know that's like super high. I'm like, that's got to be it. Yeah, 158.3. That sounds right. It
I'm
is
always
right.
153.8 or 158.3. I always bounce
Well,
between
no,
the
I
two.
thought
I
I
can
was
never remember.
dyslexic. I was like, oh no, it's
Yeah.
152.6. Yeah, it's neither. Okay, well,
Okay.
fuck me.
So I get
All right,
first
go.
pick.
Yeah, who's your most athletic NFL player of all time?
I think this is like the easiest home run without a doubt. Domination.
I hope you pick this guy. I think it's pretty obvious.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
It's without a question. He dominated football when he played, and he was a great baseball player
Motherfucker
at the
ran
same time.
like 10 feet up the wall to catch a damn fly
Yeah.
ball. He's unreal.
And
Short.
if you ever saw him in his uniform, oh God.
He's bulging
If
out
I
of it.
walked off the bus, I'd be like, I'm getting
No.
out. I'm going back on. Fuck
He
that. I'm
um
yeah.
he was bulging out of his uniform, but he had a short career because of his injury, right? If I remember correctly, he had a
Correct,
shorter
because he
career.
was so physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Like he
so
ripped,
physical.
like he tore
One,
his
I won't.
hamstring off his bone or something, right? Or he
Yeah,
broke his hip
yeah,
or something.
he was just a. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he shattered something.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, I don't really have to
Just too
explain it.
much
I think that's a
torque.
pretty, yeah, unanimous. The one thing I will say is I always remember the story of Deion Sanders talking about he was at Florida State in college and he's running down the sideline, Bo Jackson, and he's like, and I'm going to get him. He's like, I'm getting him. Like I got the angle. He goes, and then I just get this paw right on my face, and I go whoomp down to the ground. Because Dion was fast and a great athlete, but he did not have that strength in him. That was the
Yeah.
difference. So my
Yeah.
first pick is Bo Jackson.
Yeah. That's a good pick. I
You're
think
up.
that's an easy one. My first pick, Deion
Yep.
Sanders comes to mind because he's a dual sport athlete. The only guy to ever play in
Yes.
a game in two different um, sports in the same day. Um, I get the snake, so I'll probably snag him.
It's crazy.
I'll
Just
pick him.
crazy. That's nuts.
Absolute stud. Little, like you said, a little smaller. So because of that, my second pick, since I have the snake, I'm gonna go with the best athlete in the league today, Miles Garrett.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
He is
Yeah.
a fucking freak of nature. He can yam a basketball, and he's like 280, 6'6". Have you seen him without his shirt on? Oh my God. Absolutely shredded. Strong,
Yeah.
fast. Yeah. I mean, he's just can jump like a fucking gazelle. Yeah. I'll take him. So I got Dion and Miles Garrett, 1 and 2.
We're doing 4 rounds.
Yeah, let's do 4. There's enough.
Okay. I there's one that there's no way you'll pick this person because so I'm gonna just say that for the end. Even though I would pick him, I would pick this person in this spot right here, but I know you won't take him. So
Current or
um
past?
passed. My next one is very similar to yours. I don't know if he's the third greatest ever, but I just want to take him because I love him. Julius Peppers. I mean, freak on the football field, and he played basketball. You're talking about Miles Garrett. Well, he played college
Yeah.
at was it North Carolina? Like the guy, and
Yep.
he's 6'7", 275.
When he
You
was an
talk about
old
any player
ass
that's ever,
number
yeah, on
56
the
on our team, he was
Packers,
still freaking yoked.
we watched both interception returns for touchdown live. We were at both games in the same year. I don't know how it happened. It just worked
Yeah,
out. It was
he's a beast.
fantastic. He's a crazy athlete. Everyone always talks about him at Carolina. They're like that guy would not be moved. Like tough. So
Yeah.
that'll be my second pick. Oh crap. Okay, so my third pick, because I'm on the snake here. I'm between a couple people, but I'll take a present day person. I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson. That's who I'll take. The
Yeah.
ability to throw the football as well as he does. People don't understand how good of a throwing quarterback he is. And then his
How
speed
fast he
is,
is.
I mean, we all see it. He's unmatched speed, shifty. He's like, I think he's a Michael Vick, but nowadays kind of, you know what I mean? Like very similar. I was considering Mike Vick, but
Yeah,
he's
there's so
just,
many good ones. This could be six long. Jesus.
I know he's damn good. I don't think there's really much else yet to say about that. So that I'll go with Lamar.
Okay. Um, I am going to finish mine off here. There's so many. Like I think of like Reggie White. He's just too fat, too
Yeah,
big.
the like Trent Williams is a great athlete, but he's not going to get in
Right.
this. But people don't
Right.
realize how big he is in space and what he can do. How impressive that is.
I'm gonna have a sneaky fourth pick. So my wait, yeah, my third pick. I'm gonna go with maybe one of the best interior defensive linemen ever, Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that was on my list. Yeah, that's a good one. Have you
He
seen him shirtless?
right. I mean,
Fuck.
just an absolute specimen. He is like he's not as tall, but you don't really need to be that tall when you're that fucking strong. We saw it
He
firsthand
gets
last
low
week.
too.
He's got the leverage
Leverage.
and we double teamed him. It doesn't matter. He gets through you. You need to triple team him almost. And he's
Prime
fast.
Aaron Donald.
And that's what helps him too. He's not the fat like Kenny Clark or BJ Raji, just a toad where you
Oh,
can't
he's
really
like
move that
Miles Garrett
fast,
shredded.
just
Yeah.
6 inches shorter. Yeah. So he's
Yeah,
my
in the middle
third.
going against beef.
My fourth pick, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, he's a great athlete. I was thinking Cam Newton, but then I decided to go with someone who's Cam Newton, but faster.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, he was on my list too.
Yeah, the dude is a freaking just absolute freak. He runs like a
When I
four
watched the combine,
three
4-4, yeah,
four
four four
four.
five.
Yeah. And he's 6'5" and just shredded. And he can chuck the damn ball. It might not be as
When I
accurate, but I
watched,
don't think Newton was that
yeah,
accurate either. So it's like, I'll take him. That's a good four, I
no,
think.
but when I watched the combine, I saw him and I was like, oh God, that could be the best athlete in the league week one. Like
Yeah.
passing up Garrett because he can throw and he can move. Like he's
Yeah.
more agility too. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Like Lamar's
Yeah.
smaller than him. So he's got
Not
so
as
he might be,
strong.
Lamar's
Yeah.
faster, but he's stronger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All things that,
Yeah.
matter with athleticism. So that's my four. I feel pretty good knowing that you had to take Bo Jackson right out of the gate, but I got a defensive, I got my defense is incredible. Probably one of the
Yeah.
best
You're
defenses ever.
stacked.
I got a
Yeah, you're
quarterback who can
stacked.
basically be a running back too. All right. I like it. All right. So now you have your fourth pick. Make it count.
For my last pick. This was tough. I debated some people. I'll give two shouts out to some older characters. Jim Brown, who's a star lacrosse player in college. I think they had to like change the rules because he was so good. And obviously he was like, yeah, I literally think they had to like you had to like have the ball outside from your body because he would keep it in and no one could get him because he's just that's why he's a stud running back. The other guy I really considered was Herschel Walker.
Uh-huh.
He was an MMA fighter. He competed in the Olympics bobsledding. He ran a 10-10 100-meter dash
Oh
at
shit.
220 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
I
are
brought up a
all
picture of him
guys,
and
old guys that I
in
know
his
of,
that's
but I've
him in
never
his 40. He's
Holy
40 years
shit.
old at his UFC fight. Yeah, he's
Isn't he a politician
crazy.
now? Herschel?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure.
I think
But
he is.
he had 8,000 total yards. Like he even did ballet.
Yeah.
Like so he was doing all sorts of things. And I think he's famous for doing like he never like lifted weights. He was a push-up sit-ups guy. Like he did like 1,500 push-ups in a day or something. So it's crazy. He should probably be
Yeah.
on this, but I'm gonna take someone that I've watched and seen, and mine's very similar to yours. Um, reasoning. I'm going with Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
6'5", 230, I think he was. He ran a 4.35 40. His wingspan was incredible. I think they said he had a perfect RAS score, Dad, a 10 out of 10. He was mossing people. They're triple teaming him. He was the reason they had at the goal line, they had two people like punt block on him.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not getting the football. Like he was that good. And he was unbelievable to watch. Single season record holder for yards. Like in the same division. We had to deal with that. That was tough. So
Yeah.
that would be my pick, my last pick.
I have a couple of honorable mentions too. Um, DK Metcalf, another receiver.
So I thought about him, but the lateral quickness just threw me off. I
Yeah.
just can't.
Odell Beckham Jr. in his prime before he got hurt.
He was on he was on my
Absolute,
list.
absolute athlete.
Stud.
Little smaller, but just, I mean,
Yep,
the skills are just
that's why I
right
went
there.
with Megatron. Yep.
Um, I think Michael Vick could be on there. Um, oh, there's one more. I
I
just
think
can't think.
Tyreek needs to be
Tyreek
mentioned
was
because he's
was
so
one
fucking
so
fast.
fast, and he's strong
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, he was good. Barry
I think
Sanders.
Walter
I mean,
Payton.
Walter
Yeah.
Payton. There's a lot of running backs and receivers.
I think
Um,
you got to talk about what about her Tony Gonzalez too. I know he wasn't like the smoothest, but he played basketball and football
yeah,
too.
Jimmy
Like he
Graham.
was a freak back in the day.
Those tight
Yeah, Jimmy
ends who are just
Graham.
huge
I
and
we talked about him earlier. I still think Kyler Murray's a crazy athlete. The guy's so fast. He played baseball. He was drafted the ninth overall pick in baseball. So you want to talk about hand-eye coordination?
I mean,
Like,
so was Patrick Mahomes, so was Russell Wilson.
but they can't run like he can. Like they're not nearly the same there at all. Don't even start with that. Have you watched Mahomes run? It's like give me a break. Kyler's
He should be on
ridiculous.
there. I'm kidding. Mahomes is not athletic. He's athletic enough.
Brady,
Yeah. Um,
Manning.
yeah, I mean there are Vince Wilfork. There's a lot of
My favorite.
big boys that are like, okay, that's athletic for a big boy. BJ Raji, he's athletic,
Well, yeah.
but
Look
he's
at the
400 pounds.
Georgia boys. They ran like Jordan Davis is like 6'5", 330 and ran a 4.55 or whatever the fuck it was. Like, are you kidding? That's
Hmm.
crazy. And he's
Yeah.
moving aside. My
No.
favorite video is fuck it, Eli Manning running highlights. He's just running like 3 yards.
Oh, that's funny.
And he tweeted back, he's like, I could watch this all day. That's
Did
what's
you
so good.
Did you know, was it Bo Jackson? I think Jim Harbaugh has more rushing yards than Bo Jackson. Did you know that?
Jim, like the quarterback?
Yeah,
No way.
look it up. He has more rushing yards than like a very popular or well-known running back. And you're like, what? Either that is absolutely crazy or I am just totally gullible and I fell for like a really bad joke.
He might because yeah, he does.
A short career.
Jim Harbaugh has 2,787 and Bo Jackson has 2,782.
Yeah. He's got 5 more yards than Bo Jackson.
He only had 4 years in the NFL. Bo Jackson.
Yep. I told you his career was really short. But 2,000 yards in 4 years is not that much.
No, it's because he suffered. I mean, I think he's the one. It was a hip injury. I looked that up in the break. Like what was it? It was in a playoff game. Like he had to get an artificial hip. Like it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
His injury that
he like ripped
took his
his
career out. Yeah.
yeah, ripped his muscle right off his bone.
But I mean,
That's
he's
tough.
clocked in at like I think the story is like a 4-1-2 40-yard dash or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's crazy. And then you see the throws that he makes in the MLB where he's like way the fuck out in the outfield and that ball comes in like a laser. Meow.
Well,
Right into home plate. Like,
his
holy
legs,
shit.
yeah,
They're tree
in the
trunks.
baseball pants, yeah, they're huge.
Oh, that was another one.
It's
Saquon. Saquon should be an honorable mention.
yeah, he's a great athlete too. He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, Bo is just
Okay,
that's an easy first pick, I think. Oh, Lawrence Taylor, he could be up there too.
absolutely, he should be. That's a
The
fun draft
OG,
though. That was a good
the
one.
the OGLT. Yeah, that's a fun draft. We could do
Next week, ju-
go ahead.
next week, we're going in a different direction. We're doing something that it's not sports related technically, but it kind of is. It's for those nerds out there.
This is a sports
We're gonna
podcast.
do a build a football team. So we're gonna pick like positions through Game of Thrones characters. So be ready for it.
Oh,
It's
that'll
gonna
be
be fun.
good.
I'm thinking we do you pick like a coach, a quarterback, a defender, and then
Running back,
miscellaneous if you want us a
receiver,
running
yeah,
back, wide receiver, whatever.
tight
And
end.
we'll snake it again if you want and
Mhm.
pick who you want and
Yeah, you could do that for Star Wars. You could do that for Harry Potter. You could do that for like, yeah,
yeah,
that's
we'll
gonna be
we'll do it
fun.
off of Game of Thrones to start. I
Hmm.
think what we'll do for sure in that one too is we both have to pick quarterbacks and then we both like we have to keep the positions at the same so we're not like
Yeah,
playing that game too. So that'll be fun. So be ready for that one if you're a Game of Thrones fan.
yeah.
Um, all right, let's continue here. On to fantasy. Good week for you, I saw.
Yep. Much needed win. Got a text from dad. Really? CJ Stroud and that one receiver? I'm like, oh yeah, baby. I needed a win bad. Got it done.
I was losing it last night. I was fucking pissed. I lost to mom by 3. I had the longest win streak in the league. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. All
And
right, continue.
I what really angered me is at the end of the game I'm down 3 and they put in Michael Carter and they threw him the ball 4 times and he got like 20 yards and I would have won if that was Brees Hall. So I didn't win. What sucks is Alexa lost to Kevin, who's on
Yeah,
a 2-game losing streak. Kevin's coming on. The league just shrunk. Like everyone
Oh
got
yeah.
tight.
Oh yeah.
And I play
This ain't
Alexa this
over.
week, so if I would have won, I could have passed her up next week instead of just being at the same level. And fucking Paige is leading the division now. She's leading your division,
Yeah,
and she
she's
plays
good.
dad to take the one thing lead. And she's checking her phone now. She's interested in fantasy. Oh, look at my team. I'm like, oh, suddenly we like fantasy, which is fucking bullshit. Um, you play Allie this week. Any wagers again, or are you gonna leave it up to
Um,
God?
yeah, I feel like we have to do a wager this time. We didn't do it last time, and I won, and I should have done it last time. But yeah, we'll think of something, and I
Yeah.
will let everyone know next week.
I play Alexa, so I will ask Alexa if she wants a wager because last time my wager with you kind of affected her. So
Do the
we'll see if she
Dolphins
wants
play a
to.
losing team, a team with a losing record?
Dolphins are on bye, bitch.
Oh,
Cole's
you
in the
lucky,
bank.
you
Let's
lucky.
ride. Yeah.
Oh God.
I was happy about that. Yeah. But okay.
All right, bring it on. This is your shining moment. I know you've been waiting to talk about your bets. This motherfucker.
Oh my God. The streak is over. I'm
This
literally
guy.
sitting there on Sunday and I'm like, wait a second. Because I have like the Raiders game on my computer and I'm like, I pick the Raiders? And then I go back in the pod. 'Cause I don't even remember who I picked. I'm like, Packers? Washington? Raiders? I was like,
Raiders.
not only did I get one, I got all
All three.
three. I swept them. Let's fucking ride. I was so happy. So now we have to do that forever.
Now we have to
We're
call
gonna
you George Costanza forever.
because because can't stand you. We have to do this forever now. This is what's
That's true.
happening. I don't know if I'm gonna go 3 for 3, but we're gonna keep the streak alive this week. We're
Gotta
picking
let it
straight
ride,
up.
baby. Gotta let it ride.
Let it
Let's
ride.
let's go put
So
some money on the ponies.
I have 3 games here. We're gonna talk about who we think wins, and then we're flipping to the opposite. So the first one is the Saints against the Vikings. The Saints are 2.5 point favorites at Minnesota.
I think the Saints should win.
I would agree. So we're taking the Vikings.
Yeah,
We're
bet
riding with the Astro science, whatever the fuck he is, the genius.
he shouldn't win. He shouldn't
Um,
be that lucky 2 weeks in a row, right? So that's why I'd pick the Saints.
correct.
So you're gonna pick the Vikings.
Yep. Next week or the next game, Titans and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 1 point favorites.
I don't like that. That's tough. That's a fucking flip a coin game.
So I personally,
I would pick the Bucks probably. They're a little more
I
reliable.
would, I would too because I just don't trust
Will
a rookie
Levis.
quarterback against that defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're riding with Will Levis and
Tennessee.
we're
All
going
right.
with Tennessee to make some plays. I mean, Baker could Baker. I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows? It'll be tough. And then the last one, the Falcons are 1 point favorites. And I can't believe we're even going to do this game against the Cardinals with Kyler back. Who do you think wins that game?
Falcons and Cardinals.
Yeah, with Kyler back
Where is it?
at Arizona.
Oh, jeez.
I would take the Falcons, wouldn't you?
I was gonna say the Cardinals.
Okay, so we disagree then. So we're not going to do that game then. If we don't we don't agree, we're
I don't
not
like that
doing
one.
it.
I don't like it. I don't like
Yeah,
it. I don't like
we
it.
won't do it. So we're sticking Vikings Titans for the week. Mark it in. We're going 5-0. Let's let it ride, baby. Let's go.
All right. Bring it on.
Bring
That's
it on.
awesome. We'll see how
Hot
that
streak.
goes.
Yes,
That's fun.
sir. Okay. Let's finish up with good old uniforms. What do we
Okay.
got? Is it
Um
Giants?
Yeah, so I did not post on Uniform Buff, so you don't have anything to look at, unfortunately, because these are brand new.
Okay.
Um,
I'll
so
memorize them.
it's gonna make it difficult for you. They're nothing too crazy. It's the
You
Giants,
can't
y'all.
text me them.
I can right now. I can try.
It's not that important if you can't do it that fast.
I don't know how quickly they will send.
We come
So
prepared on this podcast.
it's been a busy couple weeks. So New York, currently, they're okay. They're red, white, and blue. Like, oh yeah, that's so cool. It's just been there, seen that, been there, done that, seen it before. So it's nothing crazy. All I did was I utilized their colors more. They really rely on the gray, and they use white pants now instead of gray pants with their homes. I thought the grays were better, but I just made all their stripes more consistent. Surprise, surprise. I'm a big consistency and stripes guy. Their helmets currently have just one red stripe down the middle. Their arm, their shoulders are one or like three stripes or something, and then their pants are four or five stripes. It's like all over the place. I like their stripes that they have on their white uniforms. It's the thick red, thin red with two whites in between, but it's all red. You need to throw some blue in there. So I'm using that same thin, big, thin. So there's technically one, two, three, four, five stripes, but one of the middle one is big. And their home uniforms are just all blue. And you get the gray and the red with the blues in between those stripes. So the primary homes are blue with the red and gray. I think it looks freaking good. It's simple.
Yeah, I like those. I like those.
Secondary homes, this is what they used to wear, just with the updated stripes. They used to have gray pants with their blues. Now they do white. I hate it. Hate it.
I don't know if I like the gray.
That's part of their colors. They got the gray um face masks. Um I don't mind it. It's just I like the colors more. I don't think they don't have red uniforms. I'm not gonna throw red pants on there. I think it's too
They
much.
used to do red jerseys, didn't they?
I think they might have done like a weird one timer thing like that, but yeah, it never stuck. So those are their secondary homes. Primary aways are pretty cool. All white with the red, gray, blue stripes like that. Um, you have a lot of yeah. See, I don't like those.
Jeremy Shockey, baby. They're gross.
Yeah, the whites pop because you get all the colors. I've said it a million times. So, um, primary aways popping. Secondary aways, we got blue, white, blue. Um, blue is their primary color, so I'll utilizing that a lot
I
with
like those a
the
lot.
yeah, that's simple, clean. I like the gray in between the stripes. It just kind of separates it a little bit on the shoulder pads. Um, and then the last jerseys, I had to include those because I think those are the jerseys, just my version of them. The uniforms, the tertiary aways, they're my version of the ones that they wore in the Super Bowl. I think they wore whites both times when Eli won. I know for
Correct.
sure David Tyree's catch, they were the white and
No, the other
grays.
ones were too. The other ones
I'm
were too.
almost positive it was both. Yeah. So those are classic. So I feel like you kind of have to include those, and that's
Yeah, they're
all
because
their
it was the
colors.
Mario Manningham catch.
Yeah. So
I
they
can
have
see that.
red. See, they have so much red in those uniforms. The numbers are red.
Yeah.
All the stripes are red. I'm like, you got to use the blue. So I got blue um numbers instead, and then utilize the red and blue and gray in the
Do you
striping.
like do you like the blue that they have now, or do you like their old blue that they used on the Giants helmet?
So those uniforms are dumb. Reminds me of, the Cowboys lack of color matching. Everyone is like, why the helmet's different colors? It's like, yeah, it looks stupid. You know, I think it was
Well,
literally
yeah,
because
but
the
do you like
materials that they used back then, they couldn't find that blue and that color helmet. So they're just like, okay, this is the closest blue we can get.
if they
I
used it on all of them though, would you like the color better?
If it was more of a navy,
Yeah, well, it is a navy, but I'm saying if they actually used it on all the like not like the
right. If
Cowboys,
they
but
use the navy
they wore the
instead of
navy, like that was their blue instead of this royal. Would you like that
I
better or worse?
I like the royal because then you're
Okay,
just the Patriots. The Patriots are navy, red, and gray or silver. So you kind of have to be a little different.
that's a good point.
There's enough teams that are red, white, and blue. Like it's just so overplayed. But you could say that about red and black teams too. That's
Yeah.
a super common one too. But there's only so many colors you can really do, I guess. So I really appreciate the teams like, the Titans that have different, like a light blue and a navy and then gray and red, or like the Packers who, I mean, we don't necessarily love the gold, but like green and gold, there aren't many teams that are green and yellow. So I
Yeah.
appreciate the teams that kind of, stretch out a little bit more color wise. But
Do these even come close to your favorite ones? Or are you still sticking? No, I
yeah,
thought so.
we're still at the Jags, I think. So those
All right.
are the Giants. We'll finish that division up with the Eagles. Those are pretty cool. I like those. That'll be next week.
Awesome.
Fly, Eagles, fly. So we got Game of Thrones game next week after a boring weekend of games. So hopefully something crazy will happen.
Yeah. The following week is exciting after
Yeah,
that.
good.
Bengals, Ravens. I don't know. This
Oh,
Eagles at Chiefs game might be good too. Just putting that out there.
that could be a preview.
Yeah. So
Cool.
we'll see.
All right, episode 11 in the books.
Okay.
All right. Have a good rest of your week.
Yeah. Keep the streak alive, baby.
All right.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. I'm watching Home Alone right now.
It's fucking, we're a weekend in November. You're already watching Christmas movies?
Putting my Christmas decorations up
Oh my
Saturday.
God.
Yeah. We're rolling.
On that note,
Okay.
love ya.
Yeah. Bye. Love ya.
Bye. Love ya.